So, about a month ago, Narendra Station detected an unusual signal coming from deep within the Carina Nebula, which is in the Shackleton Expanse that you've been exploring so far. So they dispatched a runabout to go and investigate. That was called the Susquehanna. But not long after it entered the nebula, they lost contact with the runabout. So you guys have been dispatched to investigate and try and get back the Starfleet personnel and the runabout as best you can. Starfleet has analysed the signal, but they've been unable to decipher it so far. So there is an alien signal coming from kind of towards the centre of this nebula, and it's basically a packet of encoded information, but it doesn't really have any kind of discernible pattern or anything to it. So it's something truly alien. So it's worth investigating as well. Obviously, probes have been through here, and they've charted some star systems and stuff, but there hasn't actually been any vessels come and investigate the nebula properly yet. So you're one of the first to come through this area of space. And interestingly enough, the signal repeats every 3.67 minutes. So it has a specific kind of rhythm to it, but they've not been able to decode the information yet. Alright, so as the USS T'Vrol enters the star system, this gives you an opportunity kind of to investigate and to scan the area. So you've warped in towards the centre of the nebula, in towards a clearing. You have a star system not far from your location that you could warp to as well, but at this point, as you've got the con on the bridge, Mr. Doffeth, do you want to figure out what you guys want to do?
First question. We are the first one to enter. No other civilization is known to have explored the nebula.
Not known to, no. Literally, according to Starfleet, the only other ship that they think's been in here has been that runabout, the Susquehanna.
Okay. I would say we start to map as much as you can with our sensors. We try to pick up any kind of movement or signal, and if we can, I would like to have more information about this, let's say, this repeated signal that we're picking up.
Absolutely, cool. So Kat, as you're at the ops station, sensors is your purview. Do you want to take a look?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. So this is going to be a task. So take your 2d20 for me, and this is going to be a reason and science task, and it's going to be assisted by the ship. So does someone want to roll for the ship?
I'll roll for the ship.
Cool. Javier, take one dice, and you're going to so check the other side of your sheet for me, because you've got the T'Vrol on the other side.
I do.
So you're going to look at its sensors and science.
Sensors and science. So we got 10 and 4, so 14.
Cool. So anything that rolls under that 14 is going to score a success, but it only counts if you score at least one success.
Okay.
But bear in mind that anything you roll a 4 or below is going to have 2 successes. Have you got your reason and science?
Reason plus science is 14.
Cool. Have you got any focuses that apply?
Ooh. Power systems?
I don't think anything there really is going to work. No, you want like sensor operations or
Yeah.
something. All right, so anything that rolls a 1 is going to score you 2 successes, and then anything under your target number is going to score you a success. And this was difficulty 1. It's going to be increased to difficulty 2 because of some radiation from the nebula is interfering with the sensors a little bit. So difficulty 2. But with 3 dice, I reckon you can do this.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
You go first.
You roll first. First roll of the game. A 20. Okay. So that's
Doing good.
So that's a complication.
Yep.
You want to roll through the assist anyway,
I'll roll.
because you've got a success. We need 1 more success. That's 2 successes. Because it
Yeah.
rolled a 4. So we've got 3 in total. That's my maths, right? Yeah. 3 in total and a complication. So you have scored 1 momentum because you got 1 more than you needed. But we do have the complication. First of all, I've got to ask you guys first. Do you want to buy that off by giving me 2 threat?
Too early in the
This early in the
It's a
game?
bit too
Yeah,
early.
let's
I
see.
would say no.
Yeah, we're not desperate yet.
Let's see what the complication is about first.
Okay, I'm going to bank 2 threat because I can't think of anything just now. But yeah, okay. So with a basic success, let me tell you what you find out. So there has been 1 ion trail in the system. It's basically like the kind of exhaust of an engine. So it passed through the Seku system. Now, interestingly enough, the alien signal originates from a planet in the Seku system. Seku 6. And at this point, do you want to spend any momentum to ask any questions? And this is open to the group, if you think of any additional questions.
I mean, we're kind of going to explore that anyway. So.
The system is the one that we can warp to, the one you mentioned.
Of course, yeah. That's the one system that you've got kind of in this clearing, almost, from the nebula. Yeah. But the nebula itself around you outside is still affecting your senses because it's still got that kind of radiation coming from it. Yeah.
Can we from the ion trace, can we have find more information about the kind of vessel that was?
Sure, you could absolutely try that. You'd be spending momentum for that, and you need to ask me something specific, like who was it, or what kind of ion trail, or how big was the ship. So something specific that I can answer.
Shall we investigate about who, if we can?
Yeah, but won't we also find out once we follow the trail? I mean, it's good to be prepared, but do we want to spend one momentum for that now?
Well, be prepared. It would be the logical approach, I would say.
It makes sense.
How about a compromise?
Mr. Crot.
Why don't we find out the states of the ship that's going there, so we know whether or not it's had anything happen to it, whether it's given a strange, odd trail, if something different is happening to it. That could be something we could figure out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Do you want to spend that momentum?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, okay. So the ion trail itself doesn't show kind of anything wrong with it, any damage or any indication that the ship's in trouble. So it's a ship that's passed through here quite happily.
So basically, we spent that momentum.
Well, now we know.
Now we know that was okay.
But having spent momentum, let me say that you have also detected 2 small craft in the system as well that have been within the system. And one of the ion trails does lead outside the system as well.
Okay, so we have 2 ion trails. One get out of the system and one passing through the system.
Yeah.
Which one do we follow?
Okay, I would say we follow the trail.
Yeah?
And we investigate what's happening.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
And that's where the signal is coming from.
Yeah, that's it.
So I would say we go...
Follow the signal.
Okay, so the flight controller warps you into the edge of the Seku system and then impulses you through to Seku 6. Initial scans show you that it's a small rocky planet. It's kind of marginally M-class, so it can support life. It's got a breathable atmosphere, but it's a little bit on the harsher side of things. It's been logged and catalogued by an unmanned probe, but as I said before, Starfleet doesn't think that any ships have been here to actually investigate, and certainly no Starfleet ships, except the runabout might have been here. There are no oceans, but there's some sparse life around the equator, around where there is water, so there's kind of like bacteria and simple life forms. And unfortunately, what you can detect from sensors is that because of the rare materials on the planet, they do interfere with the transporter systems and some of the sensor systems. So beaming onto the planet is going to be difficult, but not impossible.
Question. If that's true, does it affect beaming out as well?
Yeah, well, yeah. Because it'll be about the sensors getting a target lock on you and actually getting a fix on your position to beam you out. So at that point, just to say that I'll introduce a trait at this point for the planet, which is called electromagnetic interference. But yeah, I mean, you guys can do some more scanning of the planet if you want to, do some kind of more detailed investigation.
Also, don't worry about the transporters, because that's one of my focuses, so it's all good. I've got you.
Also, I do have as a focus a reconnaissance for when we're down there.
Can this be applied if we go if we orbit around the planet and we do some kind of heavy reconnaissance of any life form or settlement?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that the focus applies more to kind of tactical based things, so it's reconnaissance in the military sense.
Okay.
Fair enough. But, at a stretch, it'd probably allow you a kind of, if you're surveying somewhere, then, yeah, reconnaissance would probably work out too.
Before we do the scan, I'd like to ask a question. Could we possibly put something on the planet by going down on it that would help us circumvent the electronic interference?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can put down some pattern enhancers, but you'd need to actually get there first. And the pattern enhancers do have an opportunity cost, so you need to spend some momentum to get a set of pattern enhancers.
Or Give you threat.
Or give me threat. Yeah, there's always that option. But yeah, do you want to make me another scan roll, just quickly, to investigate the actual planet itself? So again, it's going to be a science task for yourself, Kat. But I mean, I'll let you pick an attribute if you want, as long as you can reason it for me. Like, as long as you can convince me it's... Yeah, so, I mean, you know, maybe you're using control because you're being kind of particularly careful. Or maybe you're using daring because you've got the hint of an idea of like how to get around it, how to get around the interference, or
right, insight.
Insight's good as well because it's about learned knowledge and kind of wisdom. So yeah, absolutely, you could apply that instead.
Okay, but do we have to give you threat then?
No, not at all. It's just you know, we agree on sometimes I'll say this is a fitness and security task, and sometimes I'll say, well, look, this is probably going to be science, but you guys can argue the point, and then we'll agree on what attribute and discipline to use. So yeah, so you want to roll insight, and this is going to be science though, definitely.
Insight and science.
Yeah,
that's 13.
So that's a 13. Again, we're scanning, so there's no focus, I don't think, unfortunately. But you will again be assisted by the sensors and science of the ship.
Anybody else want to roll?
I will.
Yeah,
take
you want to roll one? Okay. Because it's got that advanced sensor suite.
Yeah.
Then it's going to actually reduce the difficulty. So the difficulty would have gone up from 1 to 2 because of the interference, but because of your sensors, it goes back down to 1.
Nice. So is sense and science is 14.
Yeah.
Cool.
So remember that the ship always kind of has a focus. So anything you roll a 4 under will 2 successes.
Cool.
Nice.
And if you roll a 1, then we've got 2 successes for you as well. Hey, there we go. So that 16 didn't count, but we've got 2 successes already.
Okay.
So you've already succeeded the task.
Let's see if we can
So let's see if
improve
you get
it.
any momentum.
Yeah.
4.
2 more successes. So
Perfect.
4 in total, which gives you 3 momentum.
Yes.
Great.
So you want to pop that momentum down on the thing. Okay, so basic success tells you that the alien signal originates in a mountain range near the equator. There are also 2 faint Starfleet comm badge signals
Ooh.
present in the mountain range about 10 kilometers from the alien signal site. Scans also indicate there is a compound right on top of the alien signal. It's kind of nestled in the mountain range. Has about 24 life signs moving around it.
Ooh.
And at that point, I'm going to get you to spend momentum.
Just to ask, I don't know if it requires momentum, but the comm badge are not the 2 life sign. They are far
They're
apart.
separate things.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got 2 comm badge signals,
And 2 life signs.
and you've got 24 life signs. So about
24.
Yeah, about 20,
Oh, sorry.
30 people moving around this compound, and then you've got 2 comm badge signals in the mountains, about 10 kilometers away from where that is.
I don't know why I understood 2. 2 does it.
It's the way I said it.
Um,
Any questions for obtain information?
What about what species
Yeah.
is inside?
Yeah, that would be
The
a good thing
compound.
to
Yes.
ask.
Cool, perfectly valid. Do you want to spend a momentum?
Everyone happy?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so there is a mix of Federation species on the compound and a couple of Romulan life signs as well.
Very interesting.
So you get that from a more detailed look at on the scan.
Okay.
does it seem they're all moving about, or that one group is...
Well, it's kind of a mix. It's what you'd expect from like a small settlement.
Okay.
So it's like
No.
some people are in buildings, some people are walking around, some people are working.
Let me ask a question in case one group was kept prisoner.
Yeah. I mean, that, I think, if you wanted to actually discern that, that's going to be an obtain information spend.
I mean, you did say that it's better to go prepared.
Yeah, I would say let's see if one of the two groups is...
I mean, we do have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it.
Okay. We spend
All right.
one momentum. Is one of the two groups, let's say, kept in caged or constrained?
So it's interesting because I can answer these questions truthfully, but I can be as obscure as I like. So I'm going to say that there is no one group that seems to be isolated or kept in one building or one area that you can see from the scan.
But they could be interrogating them at the moment.
They could.
So we roll with the friend us to go down there and go find out ourselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
at this point I think
Pretty much.
the question is, are we going to the compound or looking for our 2-com badge? Because it seems that that is the...
Yeah, I mean strength in numbers as well.
Actually, before we do that, the 2-com badges, can we, from where we are, can we get a log of the last transmission, anything else like that? Like what they've been trying to do, or if they've, because like there might just be badges lying around.
You can't just now. What you've got is that you've identified the comm badges, but they are not hailing, they are not transmitting at the moment. But because they've got like a, I imagine they've got like a little kind of homing thing on them that essentially, if you come along, it's quite often how when you teleport someone using the transporters, getting a fix on their badge is the best way to actually find those people.
In which case, are their names registered on it?
They would be, but you'd have to get closer.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Okay, at this point, as you've had the con for a while, Captain Razia steps onto the bridge, asks, Mr. Doffeth, what do we have?
We have found at the moment 2 different, let's say, life group. 2 is a 2-com badge, and the possibility is that it's our missing scouts. And the other one is a compound that seems to have inside either Romulan life forms and Federation life signals. From what we have found, from what the census shows, it seems like they are intertwined, they're not separated one from the other.
We're quite far out into space. It could be that this is actually a non-Federation settlement and there are some pioneers out here. We should definitely investigate. Get a team together and take an away team down to the planet and try and find our missing people.
So we'll focus on the missing people first, and then we will let you know what's the situation there.
Proceed how you think, Mr. Doffeth, but bear in mind our mission here is to get back our people.
Yes, Cap.
Okay. So at this point, how do you guys want to get down to the planet?
Well, first of all, we're a medic. You're, Mr.
Kojo.
You're coming with us.
Excellent work, as always. I love forward missions.
Sarcasm is not really...
I feel like you should explain that you're a grumpy old doctor.
Okay, fine. So I am an old, grumpy old man who's stuck in his ways from a Federation long past. So naturally, sarcasm is my go-to shield when young officers come up and tell me silly things like, let's go on an away mission.
Mr. Kojo,
Yes,
you have vowed to the Federation,
of course.
and they're probably life in danger down there.
And I'll do my best to ensure that they're all safe.
I wouldn't expect nothing less.
Although next time, perhaps we could just beam them up to my ship so I don't have to.
It's good. Good to know. Mr. Crod, you're coming with us as well?
Definitely.
It seems like a sound decision. Security.
Yeah,
Might
security
need some
is coming.
security.
And we need someone that can help us with the sensor, so
Sure.
And if there's anything to repair down there, if the ship is broken, we need you.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't detected it yet, but the Susquehanna might be down there. You might need to repair it.
Could be.
Yeah,
So
could be.
we'll go down there.
Okay, cool. So, how are we going to get down there? We do have 2 options. So you can try and transport down there using the transporters aboard the ship, but bear in mind that you've got the electromagnetic interference. That means that the difficulty, it would be 2 going down there, but that's going to be up to 3 because of the electromagnetic interference. Taking a shuttle, however, would practically be difficulty 0, which means that the task you don't need to roll for. You can just land on the planet.
Okay, that seems quite easier.
Yeah, I mean, I have experience in transporters, but
Yeah, I mean, the focus might help, but there is a chance
Yeah.
that, and if you guys come a cropper, that could be injuries, that could be you're transported way away from where you want to be.
Yeah,
I
and
could start introducing complications.
To be honest, I already had a problem with transport in the past. I don't want to get stuck in there anymore. So the less I can use it. So I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we've got one momentum left. Can we spend it to take the pattern emitters with us?
Oh yeah, the pattern emitters. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So they're opportunity 1. So you just spend that momentum, and that means that in the shuttle you take down some pattern enhancers, and when you set them up on the planet, that will reduce the difficulty of transporter tasks from then on.
So then
like at that location.
If we need to beam someone up.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good.
No, it's a good shout, and it's also medically kind of profound for that as well. Cool. Okay. So you guys all assemble in the shuttle. You have I need someone at the helm, probably someone good with control and con, and I need someone at ops. Now, Kat, bear in mind that ops is your station on the bridge.
Yep.
Maybe ops is the good point for you on the shuttle.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Cool.
How are we looking on control and con? Got 9-3.
Me too.
Yeah, you're better than me. I don't do control and con.
I will be at the helm.
Cool. Okay. All right. So you guys take the shuttle, and the flight down to Seku 6 begins without a hitch. But as soon as the shuttle enters the atmosphere, the outer hull is ionized. Now, this is again is a trait for your shuttle now. So ionized hull prevents communication with a ship. So this is a trait that inhibits you from doing something. So it's not going to increase the difficulty, it's going to flat out not let you communicate with the ship. Your communicator badges as well, because this is something about the planet and to do with the ionization and the electromagnetic interference. They're kind of all similar, they're in the kind of same family of traits. That's going to stop you from communicating with people outside the planet as well.
But can we communicate with each other?
Yeah, so doing a little test, you find that, the proximity to the communicators... Yeah, exactly. The proximity to the communicators works, but trying to hail the T'Vrol, you can't get them.
So we're pretty much on our own then.
You are pretty much on your own, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Great.
So then, is there any chance we can contact the 2 comm badges?
Yeah, quite possibly. Unfortunately, at this point, the proximity alarm goes off at the ops station. And Tactical reports that there's a decloaking ship pursuing you in atmosphere. It's a Romulan scout vessel.
Oh.
Great.
The shuttle veers to avoid disruptor fire from the Romulan shuttle, and just then Ops reads a sudden, massive power surge coming from the planet in the region of the alien signal. And there's a bright blue flash right across the atmosphere, and your impulse engines begin shutting down. The same is happening to the Romulan scout ship behind you, and they're veering off, and their impulse engines are beginning to fail as well, you see from the scanners. And you guys are beginning to plummet to the planet's surface. Smoke plumes from the impulse engines as their ship spirals down past yours. I need you to make me attempt a task. So this for you is going to be daring and con.
Okay.
This, mate, is going to be difficulty 4.
Oh.
You have no impulse engines.
Can we assist in any way?
One person can assist at ops.
But then we're only still going to have... We're going to have to give you threat to get some dice, right?
Quite possibly, yeah. Normally the shuttle would assist at this point, but I'm going to say because of the failing engines, it's not going to assist you.
Yeah.
So, Kat, for you at ops, this is either a daring or control plus engineering task. Or Javier, if you wanted to jump towards the back of the shuttle and try and open some panels and try and scrape away, you can try that instead.
I can try that. I do have engineering full.
Cool. I'm only going to limit 1 assist on this. So Javier, I think I'm going to give it to you. As the engineer, run back, open up some panels, try and, light some things and fix some things. Okay, so this for you is either going to be daring or control. And engineering.
Control, let's go for control.
Okay.
So it'll be 9 and 4. So
you're trying to focus yourself, be very careful during this turbulent crash landing.
Can I use one of my focus?
What is the focus?
To keep calm.
Composure. It's a daring task, so I'm going to say no. This is quick thinking, instincts,
Fine.
That kind of thing. If you had an actual flight control system,
I have quantum mechanics.
Not quite applies
No,
here.
definitely not.
Theory of particles, no, not so much. So let me tell you that this is going to succeed at cost. So this means that you take a complication and there's a bad trait that comes into play if you want to actually succeed the task.
Automatically.
So even if
you fail, we can introduce a complication to let you succeed.
Okay.
And it's
We can
2
roll
threats
first.
we have to give you.
How about
No, it's just the complication. But I can get 2 threat instead. Like I can buy it off like we did earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, do you want to buy any dice? Bear in mind that gives me threat.
Yeah, buy 1 dice.
Yeah.
Let's get
Okay.
1 threat.
Okay, I'm going to take a threat.
Because at least now we have a chance of getting full.
Guys.
Yeah.
Buy 2 dice.
Buy 2 dice.
If you want to buy 2
That's
dice,
2
it's going to
more
cost
threat.
you 2 more
yeah,
threat.
2 more. Yeah, no, my
2
bad.
more
That's
threat.
That's the problem.
Total of 3.
No.
Do you want
Let's
to
buy 1.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? Just 1.
Yeah.
Just 1.
1.
Okay.
Should we buy 2 though? Should we?
No.
Lloyd is fine.
No,
He's
because
at the helm.
then we can give him that 2 to succeed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The
Might as well do that.
complication. So
Just remind me of your talents again.
Talent.
Yeah.
I have the Carina,
Mm-hmm.
test the theory, studious, and follow my lead.
Okay. I don't think any of those apply.
quick to action,
Uh,
incisive scrutiny.
that's about kind of turns and rounds. Incisive scrutiny is about kind of theory and
Yeah.
ideas. So I think
Because mean right hook. I mean, I can punch the.
Is quick action not a
quick
good
to
one?
action's about combat,
Oh, okay.
specifically about combat. Okay, guys, 3 dice. The assist from yourself.
Let's roll.
Control and engineering. That'll be 13. Yeah.
So that's 1 success if you get some successes. 6, 9, and 12.
No.
6,
12.
9, yeah, 6, 9, and 12. What's yours?
I have 11.
So that's
3
3
successes.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
missed by 1.
Do you want to land the shuttle?
Well, I don't want to crash it. So.
Or do we? No, we don't.
I can introduce the complication.
Shall we?
Or the shuttle crashes.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
take a
Let's
complication.
not
and
die.
land it.
Let's try not.
Okay, the complication is that the thrusters towards the back of the ship, I'm not going to give you an injury, don't worry,
Thank you.
are pretty wrecked. So you've managed to crash land, but the crash landing comes in from the back and then plunges forward. So your impulse engines and your thrusters are all shot. And because there's been a bit of a hull breach, I mean, you know, some of the atmosphere in this shuttle gets sucked out, so you're starting to breathe the Secu atmosphere. There's a lot of turbulence. It's, you know, there's a bit of whiplash going on. Not that I'm introducing that as a complication or anything. But the pattern enhancers fly out the window. Sorry, guys.
Should have bought the dice, guys. Should just bought the dice.
All right. But you're on Secu 6. Out of communication with the T'Vrol, it's just down to you guys to find your guys and investigate the signal, potentially. This is going to be difficulty 5.
Oh, maybe not.
There's actually more here than you originally detected.
Are you guys okay?
Everyone has a secret.
I like that. Yeah, definitely. Hands up. That's the only warning you're getting. Roll me.
Can I scan for life forms?
It was a strategy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good one.
Could we blag that xenoanthropology could help us figure this out?
No.
No,
What's the shot?
How long until the pension?
Not long enough.
we need to be very careful.
Yeah. I'll go first.
A long disruptor rifle with a fat old scope on the top.
Spend all the momentum.
All the momentum.
No.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I
I was checking my.
The sudden, massive power surge coming from the planet in the region of the alien signal.